White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer insisting President Trump will take the lead on tax reform, but he doesn't seem to have history on his side when it comes to the White House successfully crafting major new legislation. Joining us now, Charlie Hurt, columnist for the Washington Times, Richard Fowler, radio talk show host, both Fox News contributors. Good to see you both. Charlie, I want to start with you because we were just talking to John Roberts a moment ago about this back and forth with the Freedom Caucus. So I understand that the president, his feelings are hurt. He's upset about the health care stall because of the Freedom Caucus. But doesn't he need these folks to help him on tax reform?
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's actually sort of an unwise strategy for the president to go after the Freedom Caucus. The Freedom Caucus, you know, they opposed the Trump Care or Ryan Care bill on perfectly valid reasons, and I guarantee you not a single one of them will pay a price at home in the future in an election for having opposed it or been clear that they weren't going to support it. I think that it's a far smarter strategy for the president to go after Democrats, because it was Democrats also who were sitting on the sidelines refusing to go along with any of this, refusing to lift a finger to fix the disaster that Obamacare has become. And Trump is right about it. You know, if without any kind of fix whatsoever, it does, you know, the blame is going to revert to Democrats who gave us Obamacare in the first place.
And that leads us perfectly to Mr. Fowler. I wanted to get to you on that very point, which, okay, I could see maybe you taking a pass on Obamacare and saying the Republicans said they were going to repeal and replace it. Let's see how they do that. But you have to admit there need to be fixes to Obamacare. Even Bernie Sanders and others on the left say that. But now on tax reform. Nancy Pelosi is having a news conference live right now, and basically the first 5 minutes are just railing against the Republican leaders on the Hill, railing against President Trump. Is your party just going to sit on the sidelines and throw stones, Richard, or are you going to get in the fight here and actually cut taxes to help the American people?
Listen, if Donald Trump wants to talk to Democrats, he needs to call Leader Pelosi and Chuck Schumer down to the White House and figure out what they can do together. What you can't do is blame Democrats for these problems. If we remember correctly, for the last 6 years of the Obama administration, Republicans sat on their hands, including forcing the shutdown of the government. Donald Trump has the House, he has the Senate, and he has the White House. If he wants to get something done, he needs to work with Republicans to get it done. But what we saw from his tweet this morning is violating one of Ronald Reagan's fundamental rules. Republicans never attack Republicans. And with a wounded speaker, I think Paul Ryan is a sort of a wounded deer at this rate. Donald Trump's going to have some real problems getting a tax reform bill through his own caucus, minus the Democrats.
Richard, I hear you that the Republicans have the keys to the entire place. They got the House, the Senate, and the White House.
They do.
But on the other hand, I also hear you saying, look, Republicans sat on their hands for 6 years, the last 6 years of the Obama administration. So you're admitting Democrats should sit on their hands now. You don't really want to move the country forward.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if Donald Trump is willing to reach out, stretch an olive branch out to Democrats and saying, I'm willing to work with you, i.e.
the way Barack Obama did during Obamacare.
Wait a minute, but there's things that we agree on. I think we actually agree on infrastructure reform or infrastructure spending. The problem, he's not going to have a problem with Democrats getting an infrastructure bill through. He's going to have a problem with the same caucus that he had a problem with health care, the Freedom Caucus, because any infrastructure bill, just along with any tax bill, both of those will explode the deficit to epic proportions, and Donald Trump doesn't know how he's going to pay for it.
Charlie, how about that? Because we mentioned this piece by conservative Richard Lowry a few moments ago, and another point he made is that ultimately, whether it's a Democratic or Republican president, it's ideas that matter. And if you fail to bring those ideas to the table and articulate them effectively to the American people, you simply can't govern.
Well, no, and that's right, and of course that's also why Donald Trump won, is because he won the battle of ideas in the last election. He beat Republicans and Democrats. But you know, this notion that somehow you know that Donald Trump, that Democrats aren't, you know, you can't be blamed for Obamacare. That just boggles my mind. If nothing happens to fix Obamacare, to salvage Obamacare, and we go into the next election, you can't blame anyone but Democrats for disaster care.
Last point, Richard, on that point. We've all talked about it. Hang on one second. I'm going to let you talk. We talked about the epic failure for Republicans to actually repeal and replace it. But on the other hand, you can't say the Republicans are blamed for premiums spiking 116% in Arizona, right?
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. There's problems with the Affordable Care Act. We can all agree on that point, right? But Republicans now have an opportunity to fix it. For 7 years, they campaigned repeal, repeal, repeal. Then it turned into repeal and replace. Now I think we're at someplace in repair, right? But either way, Republicans are in control. They hate this law so much. They had a chance to repeal it. They failed. Now I think it's about time that the wounded deer, Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, reach across the aisle to Democrats and say, how do we repair this? And I think Pelosi will be open to that conversation.
But your solution of the problem with Obamacare is we need more Obamacare. That's insane. We've tried it. We've done it. We gave you full control, and it has turned into a total disaster.
We're going to wind up with a deer in the headlights, guys, if we don't cut it off right there. Good to see you, Rich and Charlie. Have a good day.